What's going on, guys? It's Blake or Shark, and I have a continuation of last week's story time. And I'm only not gonna start doing this at all. Really, I don't want to have these things where they continue over, just because I feel like the interest won't be there when you guys saw it the first time. So I'm gonna try to stop doing this as much. I'm gonna make it to where there are only one thing episodes. But what we're watching, yes, is another standoff game, another domination game. But I think I go 62-4. And it's a little longer, so I can kind of extend it, and I do pretty much destroy the enemy team. My first time running around, I get a 23 gun streak. I could have got a lot more. I started playing a lot reckless, but I wanted to jump in right back to where I was the last time. And right before I ended the video last time, I was talking about my equipment and my setup, and I get other teams' equipment setup. So like I was saying, I had the most regular setup of when you're an Xbox player. I had a regular Xbox controller. I had Turtle Beaches. I had I think at that point I had a 1 megabyte down, 1.5 megabyte up. Yeah, that was somewhere around like an 85 to 90 ping. It makes me laugh to think about it now. And I played on a Dynex flat screen TV I got from Best Buy when I was 12. And I got that for like $80, and I thought it was like the greatest deal ever, because at this point everyone in my family except me and my brother had the big tube TVs. And for Black Friday we went to Best Buy and we bought these Dynex TVs straight from Japan for $80, 24 inches. Really nice for regular TVs, but compared to what I have now, which I'm about to get into, it's pretty terrible. So at this point, when I'm playing with Kirby and Sanctify, I decided that I have some money laying around, because at this point I didn't have a job. I had some money laying around, and I'm getting to the point where I like gaming so much that I should spend money on gaming. So put some money together, and the first thing I bought was an Elgato capture card. Bought an Elgato capture card before I got pretty much into competitive. I used it just to record public matches, but now that I don't play public matches that much anymore, I use it just for recording matches for like tournaments if people need proof. But that was really important to me, because every time we play like GBs, I could record, and it was really helpful for other people when I play with them, because a lot of people I play with, they don't really have capture cards or anything, and they don't really need them, just because all they do is play tournaments and GBs, and they just record everything with their phone. So that was the first thing I bought. And then I bought all at the same time. Then I bought, can't really say bought, because it's pretty much I bought it, but I borrowed it from the same time. At the time, my sister owned a computer to monitor, and she didn't know that it was even a monitor, because she got it for a gift from her friend that she got at Best Buy. And her friend gave her this really nice monitor, and she used it just for TV. She didn't use it for anything else. And I looked at it and I was like, "Would you mind trading me?" And she was like, "Sure." Because one, this TV is smaller, and two, the one she had was the one that I use now. It really didn't do anything besides, like, it had all this stuff on the back. It really didn't seem like a TV that you would use for watching TV. It was a monitor. You could plug 2 computers in, 3 HDMI, 2 regular video, and 1 component. I mean, like, this was a real deal monitor, and it's the one I use now. And it just so happens, when I looked everything up, it has a 2 millisecond response time. And if you're not up to the lingo with response times, that's pretty quick. That's a pretty quick TV. Saying that the best you can get is a 0.5, which is like a $790 monitor, which is pretty much great, because I believe when our friend got this monitor for her, he got it for $250. So to get a 2 millisecond monitor with a thing on it called game mode, which makes it to where only your Xbox does all the graphic processing and your TV doesn't. Your TV just gives you the raw image from your Xbox, which means it doesn't take as long to response, which keeps you right at that 1.5 millisecond response, even though my TV has a 2. So yes, if I have that on, you might be like, that's only half a millisecond. That's not even any time. But it really does make a difference for me, because I've tried it without game mode, and really, it makes a difference for me. I feel like it's the difference from me having a good connection, a bad connection, a 3-bar, a 4-bar, if you know that type of lingo. So, got the TV. That's TV, Elgato, check. That's 2 things. Number 3, bought me a Scuff gaming controller. Yes, a scuff gaming controller. When I got it, I was called faggot. Yeah, I can go through the whole list. You're gay. You're not even good. Why would you spend money on gaming? It's a waste of money. Gaming is like a hobby. You shouldn't put your money into it like that. But you know what? I feel like I need a controller like that, and I really felt like it heightened my gaming, and I want to tell you guys what it looks like. It's a black controller with all white out buttons. It's a wired controller, so I've heard that wired gives you better response time. Never really noticed it, but better safe than sorry. Might as well get it instead of trying to waste even half a millisecond like the TV for maybe a connection to my Xbox. I'd rather have a wired where it's wired 100% of the time and there's straight connection the entire time. It's a really nice controller. I have a domed right thumbstick and I have a concave left thumbstick. The domed is for the one on the right is so I can have better aiming. It's pretty much like having a control freak on your controller. And the left is for running and stuff. And I feel like having that as concave, you're always running and gunning. And before I had a concave on there, I had a domed. I ended up ripping it because when you run and gun, you're constantly pushing on the thumbstick and it's going to rip eventually. But when you have a concave, it won't rip and it takes a lot of wear and tear to rip. So that's my setup I have now. My left trigger on the back of my controller is A and my right is B. I always use A. I never really use B. I don't know why I even have that on there. If I could put anything else on it, I would probably put the scoreboard on there if I could. And I really, when I started playing with better people, they told me that they made Doors to scoreboard because you constantly, if you want to look at the scoreboard when you're playing like CTF and you want to see how many people are down and who's up, you want to check the scoreboard and you have to take one finger off the whole side of your controller just to check that. When if you had a scuff controller and you had that, you could check immediately, and I feel like that's a really good idea by them, and they told me they've been using that since Modern Warfare 2, and I can't believe I didn't jump on that when I was looking in the forums and stuff when I was trying to get the best setup. Okay, so we got now Elgato, we got a TV, we got a controller. That leads my last, and I feel like my most important thing I added to my gaming is that's my headset. I have Astro A40s. I managed to not have to pay for them, and I told my mom I really wanted them. And this was around my birthday, and she said, well, if you can find a deal, I'm fine. Because at this time, this when Astros were about $250. And I managed to find a guy on Craigslist who was selling his for $160. And I asked him, I'm like, why are you happening? And he told me the whole story, how his team went to Dallas for Halo. And they played, and they got smacked. And they prepared so much, and they lost. And everyone on his team just decided to quit, and he really didn't have anyone else to team with, and he really didn't say he wanted to team with anyone. So he decided to quit, and he sold off all of his stuff, and he sold it all on Craigslist. And he gave me a real deal with the Astros, and for a price like that, it was just something I had to jump on immediately. And he told me, he's like, you responded so quick, and if you had to really be honest with you, that was the first time I've ever been on Craigslist looking for anything gaming, just because I feel like it's not made for gaming. So I felt really lucky because there's a lot of people around me that I know that play gaming, and being that I'm in Tampa, which is pretty close to Orlando, which is a pretty good like community full of gamers that are in Orlando, I'm surprised no one jumped on that before me. So now we can go over everything. TV, Elgato, Scuff, Astros. Yes, all those are the things I have now, and all those things I feel like make me a lot better. All those were developed over time. And I feel like at the point to where they're so great and they're so amazing that without them I would be half the player I am now. And I try using a regular controller when I play games, and it's nothing without my Scuff because I'm constantly wanting to push the trigger, a jump shot or something. So now I don't want to talk a lot about it. I just want to tell you guys a little bit about it. My internet connection. Before, when I first started gaming, I had a 1, like I said, and a 0.5 up, 1 down. Then I had my dad upgrade me to a 10 and then a 1, which would be a 10 download and 1 up. And about 3 weeks ago, I got a major upgrade. I got the best thing my ISP could give me, and that is a 90 down and a 10 up. But because ISPs usually cheat a lot, I have a 105 down and I have about a 12 up, which is really great for me. I'm not going to call them and say you guys messed up, just because I don't really think it's worth saying, because why would I tell them? But I feel like that's helped me a lot, and it's definitely lowered my ping, and that's why I am still to this day called a warrior, just because it definitely did lower my ping a whole lot, and it lowered my ping to about 30. So that's my whole story, how I got into gaming, and that's all my equipment. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I can't wait to tell you guys the next story next week. I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.